All right. Hello and welcome. I am back because I realized I had not turned on the right settings that I wanted. So I'm going to try this again. Hi, everybody popping in. Hi. Good evening. I'm back. I haven't scoped all weekend, but I thought I would grab some time here on Monday. I'm actually going to try to do two, but this one is going to be more of my homeschool scope, and later I'll try to pop on to do my introduction. Hello, Jenny. You'll get to hear how we use the arrow. I saw Jessica pop in and Alex and a bunch of people. So let me introduce myself real quick. I am Mary, and I have a blog at Not Before 7. It has a Facebook page that you can follow, and it's also obviously my Periscope handle and all of that stuff. So, oh good, you're going to order the arrow. I love the arrow. I can give you some of our favorite titles if you need. I can look through some of the files I have and tell you which ones we really loved. The one that we are doing right now is Poppy. I should tell you the arrow, since some of you hear me talking about it, the arrow is a guide. Hi, Abby. Good to see you too. Julie at Brave Writer comes out with a guide for 3rd through 6th grade literature each year, and she does a book a month, and you can subscribe for the whole year, or you can buy specific titles. You can find more information on my blog. I'll have things there. I'll write this Periscope up when I'm done. And I have ordered the yearly subscription. This is our 3rd year using it, and it's really become key and a core element. Hi, Christina. To our homeschool for my 3rd through 6th graders. My older one actually uses the boomerang. So this month's title is Poppy. If you have not read Poppy with your children, it is fantastic. The literature is amazing. The words, the descriptions, it is just a beautifully written book, and my kids all love it. The boys don't ask me to stop. Typically, they want to play Minecraft, and after I read a chapter or two, they're like, can we stop? No complaints with this book. They love it. And this is the arrow guide to Poppy. Now, I know a lot of people are into the digital thing. I'm a little behind there. I print out my arrow guides. I like them. I keep them in this green folder, old-fashioned folder, and I like to have them in front of me. So this is what it looks like. Yeah, I tried using the iPad. It just did not work. Oh, Alex, are you using the guide also, or just reading the book? It's a great book. And okay, you are using the guides and you print them. Well, what it does is each week you get a copywork passage, and sometimes there's a grammar discussion. Typically there's a grammar discussion to have over it. And there's all sorts of things. Yeah, Jenny, it is very hard to find titles for boys. They have liked this one though. So this week it was the opening passage, and it is a beautiful description of the forest and Mr. Oakcax, I think I'm saying that right, the owl, that he is just looking over the woods and what's going on. And that was the copywork passage. But just a little beyond that was another passage, and we talked about adjectives in that passage. And I want to show you how this works, because it really explains why doing grammar through literature is so wonderful versus just grammar in a workbook. Now, grammar in a workbook, there's nothing wrong with that. My kids actually do some grammar in workbooks. But I love bringing grammar to their minds as we're looking at literature. So the passage that we looked at, I'll show you because it's still written on my dry erase board, is this one. This is a delicious description. That's a great word for it. This is Mr. Oakcax, the owl, who looks down, who kind of runs the forest. And it says, he looked at Glitter Creek, home to the fish he found so appetizing, the tar road across which tasty rabbits were known to hop, Jay's Wood, where meaty chipmunks sometimes skittered before dawn. By swiveling his head, he searched the marsh for a savory frog, then Newfield, where usually he could count on a delicious vole or two. You'll see I've underlined 4 key nouns. And so we talked about nouns. We kind of reviewed why these were nouns. And then I asked the kids to identify the adjectives written in front of those nouns. And this is going to be interesting, but I'm going to try this. So, of course, we identified tasty rabbits, and we talked about meaty chipmunks, and we talked about savory frogs, and we talked about the delicious vole. And I posed the question, why would Avi the author choose to use the words tasty, meaty, savory, and delicious when describing these wonderful little creatures in the forest. And of course they all said, because it's from the owl's perspective and we're showing how the owl sees them all as food. And so we got to have that discussion about how authors and writers choose their adjectives, not like, oh, that's a really great adjective, but to give us a perspective on what they are describing. And so then what we did is I asked them to come up with an adjective for each of these animals that would be the adjective they would use if they saw a rabbit or a chipmunk or a frog. So here are the adjectives that my kids chose to use. I'm going to write them in there. So I just erased what was there, and my children decided that rabbits were playful. Oh, there's playful. That chipmunks were friendly. That the vole was cute, and that the frog was, I'm sorry, I've gotten it messed up. The frog was friendly. And I remember this because they were so excited about their alliteration for friendly frog. The chipmunk was cute. And the vole was cool. Now we looked at the passage, and suddenly we have playful rabbits were known to hop, Jays would, where cute chipmunks sometimes skitter before dawn. By swiveling his head, he searched the marsh for a friendly frog. Then Newfield, where usually he could count on a cool vole or two. And I asked them, well, now that we've changed all the adjectives in this lesson, in this passage, what does it sound like Mr. Ocox, the owl, is looking to do? And they said it looks like he's looking to go play with his friends in the forest. So 4 adjectives completely changed the atmosphere of the description. So that was just my example from the arrow today. There's always something different going on in there. I'll be honest, sometimes it's a little hard for my younger kids and they are excluded. And sometimes I just do it with my 5th grader. But for the most part, this one was fantastic. So it's one way that I have learned over 2 years the value of doing grammar through literature instead of just grammar workbooks and relying on them alone. Because part of the importance of grammar is learning how to choose our words and looking at adjectives, looking at nouns, and understanding the point of what we are choosing. So it's not just identifying and saying, oh, that's an adjective, but why are we choosing a certain adjective? So that's all I wanted to pop in and share today. I just thought that was a really great passage. I'm sorry, while I'm talking, I'm putting on the coat of a 6-year-old. He can't get his sleeves inside out or right side out. So that was everything today. That's why we love the arrow, and Julie, Brave Writer, just does a great job describing these. It's a fantastic passage to go and describe and see how you can play around with the adjectives and switch it up and change the entire mood of a passage with 4 words. I thought that was amazing. So if that's everything, which I think it is. I'm sorry, now I'm zipping a jacket. This is the thing with Periscope. And so that was it. All right, guys, so I highly recommend Poppy and the Arrow Guides to help you out with it and learning how to bring alive grammar so that it's not just a worksheet, but we're really learning how to play with words. All right, good to see you all. I think I'll be back on later tonight, and I'll try to do Alex from Life on Island. I'm going to try to do her challenge tonight and just introduce myself and give you a little more of my story. All right, bye-bye.